Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. This is it's the third time that we've done this, but we never give up. We keep improving the quality. So we've switched rooms. We've got Musa set up. He's looking comfy. He's got his sleeping bag on. And yeah, I know a lot of you guys were asking me. My whole social media blew up. Snap went crazy. Everyone was asking, what's going on? Where is he? So I thought instead of replying, I'll let the man speak for himself. So Musa,
Oh,
how have you been? Where have you been? More importantly,
it's been a long 3 months. Um, the month of December was like one of my hardest months all of 2022. Reason being was because one of my connects in South Africa. For those of you who don't know, obviously everything's out in the open now as I've put it out on social media recently. But one of the things that I do in South Africa is car importing and exporting. So anyway, one of my units was stolen, which had 17 cars inside. Clients had already bought all the cars, which means they were ready for collection. Um, One of the units was fully stolen. Someone ran in there, stole it, kidnapped my staff, took everything, which now means the cars that were in there that the clients had bought, um, I have to basically give them the money back for that because they had already bought the cars, left them in my warehouse, trusting in me that I will keep their possession safe. Um, and as everyone knows, the game in Africa is not it's not small time game. You know, you're dealing with big people. So, in order to not lose the African network that I had, because some of them are linked to the gold that I do as well, it led for me to dig into all the liquid that I had to pay back every single customer who bought a car. Now, I'm not talking normal cars. I'm talking there was a SLR, there was SVR, there was a Van der Haan, which is a very classic car, and some other ones, which left me extremely, extremely low on liquid. You know, not even the signal group that was coming in could keep me afloat for that. Um, so I took some time to just focus on things and get my money back up, knowing that it was going to be a dry month. Um, then I also had a falling out with a certain friend who offered me an olive branch, um, said that he would help out because, I thought that that's what friends would have done. If I'm ever in a situation, I can reach out to them, ask them for help, um, which he did. He helped out a little bit. Um, but then obviously a few days later, um, things turned sour. He felt that I'd stolen from him or that I'd scammed him. Um, but nevertheless, that's been returned anyway. After the month had finished, two clients from my DC investments withdrew from their account, sent me my 40% commission. Happy days. I was back on float. Sold my Richard Mill. Um, that was about. I lost a lot of money on it, but still sold it for about 13 to 14 million baht. Um, what else? Yeah, everything just went back to normal until I had the superbike crash. So New Year's came, we had a good news. We had a good New Year's. We went on the boat and everything, and I was actually going to get back onto socials literally just before New Year's or just after New Year's, but the break that I had from it was very like eye opening, and it was very peaceful, you know, because when you're on social media and everyone sees you every single day, it's so easy for people to just pop up and be like, "Oh yeah, bro, what's good?" But because they see you every day, it's easy for them to be in contact with you. You're easily accessible. So it's easy for you to think, "Oh yeah, this is my guy, this is my bro," because he's always messaging you. Disappear for a bit, right? Create some space. Let's see if the same people now message you and text you or check up on you. And I realized that that was the case when I disappeared for like the first, in December. I realized that a lot of people just nada, nothing, right? So I kept it like that. And then January came. We went on the boat on the 1st of January, 2nd of January. We drove all the way. It was about a 13-hour drive up to Nakhon Pathom, which is like north up. It's a unknown province near Bangkok, right? For a brand new one of my dream bikes, Yamaha R1 2022, fully specced out, custom exhaust, headlights, daytime running lights, splitters, fenders, whatever you want to call it. The bike had everything, right? So I'm riding back now. It was a 10-hour ride back. I'd completed 6 hours and stopped off at a 7-Eleven, right? Took some pictures admiring the bike. And on the way back, it's a two-way road. It's an A road. Now, bearing in mind, it's a 10-hour road, right? 10-hour ride back, sorry. From where I started all the way to home, it's literally just one straight road. Yeah, you don't go no left, you don't go right. It's just a straight road. Now, there's a lorry in the left lane, slow lane. There's a lorry in the right lane, fast lane. Before I came to the lorry, on either side, the road was empty because we were stuck at a traffic light, which was counting down from 120, right? So from 120, it went to 1. I let off, right? I'm the first one off. So for a good nearly 100 kilometers, I'm the only one on that road. Now, in all honesty, I'm going to tell you right now, I was hitting about 220, 240, because it's an empty road, just straight. There's no bumps in the road. There's no nothing. I'm hitting 240. I'm tucked. Loving it. Best feeling ever. Like no car, no ride, no nothing can give you the adrenaline feeling of moving at 200 plus miles an hour on a bike. No seatbelt, no windows, nothing to protect you, right? You feel every ounce of wind, even through the helmet. You feel everything. So, moving now at 200 plus, and then obviously as I'm riding, in the distance, I start to see a lorry. So I'm thinking, all right, cool. I slow down. I hover into the left lane, going slowly. So I start cruising now behind the lorry in the left lane. New bike, the brakes are extremely good. I went from like 200 to like 120 in like less than 3 seconds, comfortably. So I'm cruising now behind the lorry. The lorry in the right lane, he starts pacing with me. Now, it's normal for this to happen in Thailand if you are riding a rare bike. It happened with the black R1 that I had, and it happened with this one as well. Like people would just constantly try and race me. So he's pacing with me, right? So he goes forward. I'll go forward. I slow down. He slows down. At this point, I'm like, okay, cool. What are you doing? You get me? Like you're just playing now. You're just playing.
Yeah, he's trying to like.
He had space to go forward, but he kept on coming back. So I thought, all right, cool. So I hit the throttle, went in front to gap him over here, which had about a 5-meter gap, which if he hadn't had sped up, I would have made the gap. Unfortunately, he put his foot down as I put the throttle on. And the left wing mirror literally clipped the lorry on the left, just on the back. So as I've clipped it now, while pulling the throttle, I've gone from like around 120 to around 170 something, 180 something, right? Speed wobbling now because I've clipped the lorry on the left. So I'm speed wobbling for about 5 seconds to the point where the bike just gave out. And it's wobbling in the right lane, the right lane with the fast lorry coming. So speed wobbling, the bikes gave out, and I've dropped. I'm now sliding, yeah, sliding at however long it is. And I've turned around as I'm sliding. I've slid and turned around. I can literally feel my back like grazing as I turn around. And I see the lorry come at me. Now, thankfully, the lorry is at such a height where there's no way it's going to hit me from the front. It was high enough to go over my head, even with my helmet on, right? So I've missed the first set of tires. So I've realized now, okay, cool. In this split second of whatever's happened, I've missed the front of the lorry, which means I've now got the middle of the lorry and the back of the lorry to try and get out of. The middle of the lorry is where things get sketchy, right? So I'm looking up and I just see the bed of the truck go across me. And something hits my helmet, completely smashing the gold visor off the helmet and breaking it, right? So the gold visor is now smashed off the helmet, which means my helmet is now open. So if any debris or anything is to go inside the helmet, my eyes are gone, screwed. As something hit my helmet, it ricocheted my helmet off the floor and then it hit up again, right? As it's hit off the floor, bearing in mind the lorry is still dragging me this whole time with him and the bike and the tires, right? So, my head's ricocheted off the floor. If we had the helmet, which would show them, but
We'll put a picture up.
we'll put a picture up. Or Janelle can even grab the helmet.
Janelle, you got the helmet.
Janelle,
Let's see the helmet.
in my room, my helmet's on the cupboard. Could you just grab it, please? Thank you.
Let's see this helmet.
So
Looks like Tron.
So as you can see, this is where the gold visor was. Whatever hit me while I was under the trolley, it completely snapped the visor off the helmet. So this is what I mean by if any debris was to come inside, my eyes would have been screwed. So I'm under the truck, right? Something has hit here for my head to flip back, right? As my head has flipped back, it's caused this damage, as you can see. I don't know if all of you can see that, but it's literally scraped the floor at such a speed where it stays like this for a couple meters, continues scraping the floor before it comes back up. Caused significant damage over here and over here. Okay? Had it not have been for this helmet, this podcast wouldn't happen today. In all honesty. Yeah. So the helmet saved my life, right? So I'm now trying to push out of the truck. Unfortunately, I didn't get to. So the back end of the tires, the first set of tires ran over my waist. Alhamdulillah, nothing's wrong with my waist. I don't know how. I'm not even going to try and think about it, question it, but thankfully, nothing's wrong with my waist, nothing's wrong with my bowel, my pelvic, nothing. Yeah, I don't know how heavy ton that truck is, but nothing is wrong with my waist or pelvic. The same can't be said for my legs. So the first set of tires at the back went over my waist, nothing happened. After that, I tried to push diagonally out this way. Unfortunately, my right leg got caught, fracturing the ankle. And as it fractured the ankle, it dragged my shoe had come off. Both my shoes had come off at this time. It dragged my foot. I was just wearing socks. Dragged my foot across the concrete, traveling at however fast the speed was going, however much speed the truck was going, let alone how much speed I was sliding at when I came off the bike. But my pinky and this toe on my right leg were severed, meaning that they were literally hanging off. Okay. So they've had to be stitched back together. I still don't have any fine motor skills. I can't move those toes. Yeah, it's gonna take some time. So that's the right leg. Other than that, fractured ankle. But I can still move around a little bit with the right leg. I can lift it. I can move it side to side. The left leg, this is the worst part. This is the last part. After the right leg got ran over, obviously the adrenaline's pumping, so I didn't really feel it at the time. I just know that it happened. The left leg, I tried to slide out. Unfortunately, the timing of where it was and where the tire was rolling to, my ankle was placed like this, which means the tire went straight over, crushed the pressure from the ankle, where it was, to the point where the weight of the truck and my ankle was too much, so the ankle exploded from underneath. As the ankle exploded, it opened the wound, an open wound. So initially, it would have just been skin open, and then you see some flesh. But it got worse. Reason being is because the truck continued to drag me. So as the truck continued to drag me, an open wound across the concrete continues to open as it's being dragged across the concrete, to the point where shaving along my tendon bone, removing parts of my tendon, moving the ligament, it just looked like a whole mess, an absolute mess. So nothing was where it was supposed to be. When they give you the sheet after of your symptoms, like I studied in physiotherapy, sports therapy, so I know a lot of things like metatarsal, like all that stuff, right? I was reading words that I had never, ever, ever seen before in my life. And it wasn't even, when they were mentioning bones, it wasn't like partial or a fracture or something. It was always complete or shattered. That was the word that they described for everything. So the right leg, complete shattered tendon or whatever. I don't know. Complete shattered tendon bone, sorry. The tendon isn't as long. This is what the doctor said. It was like it's not as long as a usual tendon is. Reason being is because some of it was severed as it was scratching across the floor. So somewhere out there on the road that I crashed is my piece of tendon. Ligament completely, it's like it's just in my leg for no reason. Like it's not attached to anything, but obviously after the operation they've done their job. Still have a few more to go. So yeah, that's how it happened. Then obviously once I got out of the lorry, the lorry continued to drive for another 100+ kilometers down the road until he was flagged down for someone to say to him, "You're pulling a bike." Right? After he knew he was pacing with me. You're pacing with a biker with no gear on, who was cruising in the left lane, who was minding his business. Yeah. You chose to pace with this guy. Then when you did not see him, this is the worst part. If you the moment he did not see me in any of his rear view mirrors or his side mirrors, he should have stopped. He chose to carry on and continue driving for another 100+ kilometers before he was stopped. And then he has the cheek to go to police and give them a whole different story, but that's gonna be dealt with anyway. But yeah, that's what happened, and then that's why I was off socials for so long. And then when I got into hospital, I think it was about 2 or 3 days later, obviously when I regained like proper consciousness and everything, and I could like speak properly, that's when I thought, all right, cool, let me just go back to Insta for a little bit, because I never liked Snapchat. You know, all I gained from Snapchat last year, I think I've gained from Snapchat, I've gained 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe about 7, right? Maybe about 7 genuine friends. Now, everyone who knows me in the last 1 year, you have seen me, right, with more than 7 people, right? I have introduced several people from UK. You have seen it yourself as well. I have encouraged people to exit the matrix, right? To leave UK, to come to Dubai. I hosted them. I gave them a place to stay. I showed them around. I gave them money when they needed to. Not one person, right? When I'm on my deathbed, you're telling me you cannot travel. Even though you make money, you cannot travel halfway across the world. I don't care if the flight is 40-something hours. If you're on your deathbed and I call you my friend, I'm catching a flight. I do not care if it's 10 grand flight. I don't care if it's a 15 grand flight. I'm catching a flight and I'm coming by your bedside. So many people did not turn up, let alone send a message. Yeah? You're on your deathbed, bro. People can't send a message.
It's tough, man. Yeah, people show their true colors. You know what I mean?
A message. And some of them still, this is what bugs me till this day. You still had the cheek to watch my stories while I was in the hospital bed. People think just because I get a lot of views that I don't go through who's watching my stories. I check. Right? You had the cheek, the audacity to still go through my stories and not pop up to say, oh, bro, I would have let whatever problem we had slide, right? Whatever problem we had, I would have let it slide, because there's no disagreement on this earth that's worth more than your life. Okay? Please remember, if you have a disagreement right now, go and sort that shit out before you hear tomorrow that this person's passed away. Just today, someone sent me a picture of a teenager who was on an off-road dirt bike, right? He was on an off-road dirt bike.
What happened?
Crashed into a lorry, passed away.
A lorry as well?
A lorry. Now,
That's
let's just think about it. A dirt bike at most is 450cc. I was on a superbike, stock, right, with no added modifications, is 1000cc. 1000.
Yes, over double.
With the added modifications that were on the bike, that new R1 had more than 1000cc.
That's crazy. Goes to show, man. It's what do they say? You live to tell the tale. You know what I mean? You live to tell the tale. Blessing, lucky. Tell me about this book then. So you said after, we spoke after this stuff, and I've seen a lot of the stuff that happened, but I haven't asked you much about the book. What's this book? What are you writing about?
So the book is, I feel like it's a way for me to tell or to give everyone a wake-up call, right? As someone who's literally escaped death, you begin to see a lot of things, you understand a lot of things, you appreciate a lot of things. I used to have 2 podcasts up and they got removed. So I feel like this book is a really good way for people to understand not only me, but also how my mind thinks, how my new mind thinks now that I see life differently. But also to understand me as a person from when I was a kid in Denmark. This book spans from me being a child in Denmark all the way to now. Every single thing from chapter 1, it will vary. Chapter 1, you'll see my journal that I wrote in 2021 when I was going through depression, when I was going through all this kind of stuff. That's chapter 1. It's called Back to the Past. Chapter 2 is called Brothers in Arms. That's literally just about how I feel about literally brothers. And when I say brothers, you'll understand what I mean when you read the chapter. Because there's a lot of people nowadays who you see each other and you say, yes, bro. Yes, my brother. But brother is someone who looks after you. A bro is someone who's going to be there for you when you need them. You can't give that kind of title to everyone.
Yeah,
so that's what chapter 2 is about. You know, there's each chapter represents something. And there's a chapter that I specifically wrote for parents because, and I had this conversation with my own parents before I even wrote this chapter. And I just explained to them the whole, you know, if your child has something that they believe in, support them. To forget about generational curses. We're living in a whole different time now. You need to support your child before they get to the age where they do things behind your back and you won't like it. Whether it's doing something illegal, feds coming to your house, or they're not doing well in school. Why do you think they're not doing well in school? Because you're not supporting them. You're not taking them where they need to go. They want to go do jiu-jitsu? Take them. They want to go do football? Take them. It costs £10 a week maybe for football school. Take them. You're telling me you can't spare £10 for your child's dream? Take them. It's honestly not that hard. So that chapter is dedicated to parents. And there's a couple other chapters as well. I'm on the last chapter today, which is chapter 10. And then I'm literally just going to find someone to proofread it and it will be published. I'll also do an audible where I'll read the book personally in the way that I read it in my own head, you know, with emphasis, with proper feeling, you know, so you can actually feel how I feel when I'm reading the book, how I feel when I wrote every single word on that document. So that's what the book is about, and I feel like that book's gonna change a lot of views.
No, I get it. It's kind of like your journal.
Yeah.
You know, it's a journal on your experiences and on mindset shifts and these type of things. You know, it's very interesting. And I've read a few pages of the book, and it's very eye opening. It's very eye opening. So, what people are gonna want to know, and people always want to ask questions about you and everything like that. But there's something that's trending right now, and it's the Forex funded accounts.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on funded accounts, and tell me a little bit more about it?
Well, funded accounts is what really changed the game for me. Because funded accounts, it gives you capital that you didn't have for a short amount, right? Now, you can trade today with $100,000 if you just have $500, right? Pursuant to the fact that you pass the first 2 stages, right? All they ask you to do is make 8% of the account and then make 4%. With that 4%, once you make the 4%, you now have every single month $100,000 to trade, right? At the end of the first month, you go onto your portal, you click request withdrawal, and you are allowed 80 to 85% of whatever profit you've made on the account. So let's say you make 30K in the first month off the 100K. They send you to whatever crypto address you want. If they do crypto, USDC, USDT, whatever. They send you 85% of 30K. Now, can you imagine the fact that all you did was put in $500 and you've just made in 1 month 85% of 30K? I'm really shit with numbers, okay?
20 odd grand. That 20,
it's 20 something grand. I'm shit with numbers. I'm very shit with numbers. But one thing I can do is read. I can read how many numbers are in my wallet, how many numbers are in whatever account, okay? That's all I need to know. I don't need to know how X, Y, Z, 3 times whatever, right? I don't need to know. Google tells me. ChatGPT tells me.
Big up ChatGPT.
Big up ChatGPT. But you get 85% of whatever. That's not it. If you continue to be a profitable trader consecutively every single month, they start to scale you up to a point where you can now earn 95% of whatever profit you've made in that month, right? So let's say you have an amazing month. You've bought another funded account. You're now trading on 200K. You've got enough space, breathing room to not hit drawdown limits. You've got enough breathing room to put on bigger lot sizes. You're now trading 10 lots instead of 5 or 2. You're trading 20s sometimes, or you're scalping 20s. You know, it gives you the possibility to be able to make ridiculous money, right? Money that's not fathomable in any other industry other than the Forex market. $1 trillion daily market, right? Let's just say you had 200K account, yeah? You made 100 grand. You're on a 95% profit split. In 1 month, you've made 95% of 100 grand. 95 grand deposited straight into your crypto wallet.
It's a happy day.
While you did whatever. You could have been sat in bed. We could have been on a boat. We could have been on the segways. However, deposited straight into your account. Now, you are allowed up to a max. With some prop firms, you're allowed up to a max of 500K, right? Straight off the bat. So that's 500K. If you continue to be a profitable trader, they scale it.
So how do you pass these accounts?
You have to pass stage 1 first.
Stage 1.
Stage 1, you got to pass 8%. You have to make 8% of the account balance.
What's a good strategy to make 8%?
Risk management is everything.
Because
you have drawdown limits. You're not allowed to lose 5% in a day.
Okay.
And you're not allowed to lose 10% in the whole 30 days.
I guarantee so many people blow that.
Oh, so many people blow it.
First day of that.
I've had so many messages of people saying to me, can you pass my funded account for me? Can you pass my funded account for me? But I just don't have time to do it because I have so many things other going on. Like right now, I've got stables I've got to build. I've literally just invested into a Muay Thai gym, which is already ongoing. They already have ongoing fights. There's a new build going on. I have to invest in that. Then I've got medical bill that I need to keep paying for because the operations are not done. I've got Let's Go Clear to take care of. I've got the import export to restart because I don't know if I can swear, but some person decided to go and steal 17 cars, rare cars. So it just goes to show like everything's not rosy when people think that, oh, we've got money and, you know, we've got this and it's honestly not. It's honestly not.
More money, more problems, man.
More money, more problems,
More money,
honestly.
more problems.
But yeah, going back to the funded accounts, you have to pass the first stage, which is 8%. You pass the 8%, they send you details to another one. You do 4%. Once you do the 4%, they send you details to a fresh one. With that fresh one, you now trade that money that's in the account is live, right? You trade it. At the end of the month, they send you a cut. They take their 15% or 10% or whatever it is. You can scale it till you get 5 accounts, which is 500K. If you're a profitable trader consistently for a few months, you can scale it from 500 to 1 million, which means in a month, every single month, this company will give you an account with 1 million in it. Now, I'm not saying they're going to give you every single month a new account with 1 million in it. Obviously, you keep the same account. It stays the same account with the 1 million in it, they just withdraw the profits from that 1 million. Make sense? I just had to make that clear before people start saying, oh, they don't give you accounts, they don't give you accounts. So you're now trading with this funded account. And I've said to so many people, like, it's a really good way to get capital if you can't get capital, because who really, in the cost of living crisis that everyone is in UK, has 100 grand lying around to put into a Forex account or more?
Well, people in the UK don't even have £100.
Exactly.
Spare income. Average. I think, well, since inflation and stuff like that, it's a little bit different, but the average person didn't even have, £100 to £500 if there was an emergency. People, you have to change the tires on your car, so it's a big problem.
Yeah.
So I get it. So it's been a very intense few weeks for you, man.
Few weeks. It's been an intense 3 months. And this is the longest ever. Everyone knows how much I love Honcho, man. Like, I've not seen Honcho since, when did I come? Start of November. Since start of November now, yeah. November, December, January. Nearly 3 months.
Yeah, it's a long time, man. I know you and Honcho got a connection, man. You and Honcho got a serious connection,
man.
You and Honcho got a serious connection, man. So I've got a question for you, and I know a lot of people want to know this, especially a lot of people that follow you. Is what's a high value female?
A high value female.
Because I know that opinion's changed for a while, right?
Yeah.
Before it was different, and then now we've seen it.
Before. Yeah, you've seen it. The guys in this house have seen it.
We've seen the difference.
The guys in this house have seen it, but no one else has seen it, because obviously they don't see. None of them came from across the world. One person flew. Obviously, you guys have met her and whatnot, but a high value female is someone who understands that, okay, cool, I'm going to put my all into this person, and this person is going to protect me no matter what. This person is going to provide for me no matter what, etc., etc. During the time that I'm down, they're there to pick me up. That's a high value female. During the time that I need help, that I can't do something, they're there to help me do it. During the past few days, when that's the position that I was in, that woman was there.
It's crazy, because
it's very crazy.
There's probably so many chicks that were like, fly me out.
They even offered, right? The woman who flew across the world did not ask me anything, right? She sent me an itinerary. That's it. Just an itinerary. No, should I book it? No, nothing. From my end, if I can tell that you're doing something for me, and I can see that you are a woman of quality, you are a woman of high value, you are a woman who looks after herself, you are a woman, not a girl, a woman. Before she even landed in the country, before she was even in the vicinity of Thailand, the hemisphere, whatever it's called, yeah, I made sure everything was pattern, whatever it cost. Accommodation, travel, her own driver, cash. When she arrived, cash in hand. I made sure, I said to Arnold, when she arrives, give this cash to her. Everything was patterned to make sure that she's comfortable, right? Because if all the women that I knew, and you know very well, me on social media, women are,
I love it.
they're catting. They're catting. Right? So, for me to do what I did, it's serious. It's serious. That's a high value female. Whatever description, right, that you guys have heard me say before on any other social media or Snapchat or anything, scrap it. Scrap it right now, because it's not it. Okay? Me, Tyrell, Arnold, and everyone else who's in this household, yeah, they've seen with their own eyes what a high value female is. And she looked after me for the duration that I was on my deathbed in that hospital. Literally lying, hopeless, can't do anything, useless. Looked after me. That's a high value female. Everything else, nah. I don't want to hear anything about, oh, I had work. You know, when people are like, oh, I had work, or, you know, I can't come now, or money's too tight. No, there's no excuses. This woman, right? She has her own responsibilities, right? She has her own responsibilities. And trust me, when I say responsibilities, I mean she has her own responsibilities. She's older than me. She has her own responsibilities. She still flew halfway across the world. Still flew halfway across the world to come and help me without me asking. All she heard was that I was in an accident. That's it. Every other female, oh, I'm so sorry. I wish I could have been there for you. I'm sorry, but if you're watching this podcast and you've messaged me prior to watching this podcast and we used to speak before and I still have not replied, this is your answer. This is your answer. Because if something had happened to you and we were speaking seriously, and I know I have the financial capability to get to any corner of the world, I'll come there if we're serious. But that's not the case for some women other than this one. So that's what a high value female is. And from today onwards, that's all that you will see on my Snap. You will not see, or on my socials, you will not see any other female, and you will not see her face either. I'll tell you that right now. But you will not see any other female other than the one woman who flew across the world on my deathbed. It literally cannot get more serious than that. On my deathbed, when I needed someone most, one woman showed up. One woman. And you know how many women are on my socials. Everyone knows. Everyone knows. It's, if I can go on socials and easily, we're in that position, all of us are in that position to be able to just speak to women easily. Because those women know that we can give them the lifestyle that they want. Right?
High value men get high value females, man. You know,
precisely.
But I get it.
But high value men also get low value females, because low value females just look for anything that's high, knowing that they can't even produce anything high themselves. Think about it. So from today onwards, don't ask me anything about high value female. I know who it is. I know who they are. I know where they are. Yeah.
Oh, for real, man. For real. Look, at the end of the day, it's like this, man. It's a lot of these chicks, they're not serious, man.
No.
And a lot of people, a lot of friends, they aren't necessarily friends. You know, that's how the game goes. That's how the game goes, man. But
do you know what it is? It's a big shame as well, because
a big shame, of course.
When you meet some friends, and you think they're friends, you start to think, all right, cool, let me put this person on. And you put them onto certain things that the normal average citizen doesn't have access to. Whether it's connects, whether it's meeting people, whether it's networking with them, whether it's ways to make more money. And they'll just, once you've severed your relationship with them, it's not like they're going to forget that and give it back to you. They'll continue to use it. But, you know, now I'm in a state of everything happens for a reason. Literally everything that happens, I just say Alhamdulillah. If whoever those people are want to go and use whatever my connects are and carry on making money however, or, you know, I know they're going to watch this and feel guilt. The fact that you didn't even You open your less than 10 seconds. Less than 10 seconds it just took me to open my phone and say, how are you? I literally just typed, how are you? Less than 10 seconds. You're telling me, and I hope you feel this with every single guilt in every bone in your body. You could not take 10 seconds, right, to open your phone and say, how are you? After watching my posts of me laying lifeless on my hospital bed. But you call me a friend. You used to call me a friend. You're telling me you could not take 10 seconds out of your day to just type, how are you? It took me less than 10 seconds. These are not friends. They're not friends. They're not friends. They're not brothers. They're not bros. They're not companions. They're not acquaintances. They're enemies. Okay? These are enemies of the world. Okay? They don't belong in your life. They're not going to get you anywhere. They're not going to excel you. They're not going to push you. They're not going to do nothing for you. Okay? And as I said in, the caption that I wrote in that post, which suddenly made everyone aware of what was going on. The people that have not reached out, not said anything, and know that I was so close to death and you did not send a text, they know till the day that I do die, inshallah, when it happens one day, hopefully not now, hopefully many, many years down the line, once I've had my kids and everything, inshallah, that we will not communicate. Soon as I made vital consciousness and I was clear on who my friends are and everything, I texted all my connects, whether it was my import connects, my gold connects. I said to each and every single one of them, I gave them names. I said, do not work with any of these people. If you choose to work with any of these people, you have severed my relationship with me and you. I don't mind them severing. I know they won't. The loyalty that I have with my connects across the world, there's a lot of things that I could say that will go viral from things that I've seen, from things that have been done, just because of loyalty. So when I say to them, do not work with these people, you're already crossed off the list. They will not work with you. No way. No way. At all. There's no way. At all.
So Janelle was basically saying, look, you've been through these tough times, these trials and tribulations. You've been through these negative times, but what has it taught you, and how are you gonna change it? Because Marcus Aurelius is a very smart man, and he says we live in suffering. We suffer every single day, and you should choose to suffer. 100%. So, what's the future for Sir Bugs?
So, since the accident, I've learned that health is wealth. Now, even though I may not be able to sleep and I go through so much pain that it keeps me up all night, I've not slept for the past 48 hours. Instead of crying in my bed and screaming, I've used those 48 hours to continue writing the book. To continue writing the book that I'm going to publish to get out to you guys so that it can motivate you to carry on. Right? I've been putting out reels, still in agony, to motivate you guys. I've been putting out TikTok content to put a smile on whoever's face it is that it reaches. I've been doing a lot of things socially.
Big up, Janelle.
Yeah, big up Janelle, man. My content creator is just on job. I've been putting out a lot of things just to give out motivation. Not only that, but to also motivate myself. Like, I've honestly lost count the amount of times I sit in bed at night and I rewatch the reels myself. And it makes me happy. Because so many people, they go through traumatic things like this and they don't make it back. They honestly don't make it
Sure,
back.
it breaks people, man. It breaks
Mentally,
people.
they don't make it back. They're not the same person. But I feel like this has made me a way stronger person. Like I've like just today, for example, like I've ordered a whole new gym set, which is gonna arrive in a few days. My legs may not work, but believe me, I'll be in the gym. Everything upper body, I'll be working. My legs may not work, but everything upper body, I will be working. 100%. It's the motivation that'll keep you going. Because if you stay stuck, how do you expect to progress in life? It's like a car at a traffic light, right? And the light just stays red.
Yeah, if you're staying still, you know exactly where you're going.
It stays still. It doesn't go anywhere, right? And the mileage will tell you that you haven't moved. If that red light stays red forever, that car's not gaining anything. The car's not growing. As you move, the mileage moves. You go places. Don't be a car that's stuck at a red light.
Yeah, don't be stuck at a red light. And I think a lot of people can take your mindset and the way you've handled things, and they can take it as a big inspiration.
100%.
You know, they can definitely take it as a huge inspiration, because
100%.
it's first world problems. A lot of times people lose a trade, or people aren't making too much money, and they feel like that's a big thing, that's a big issue.
100%. Like just the other day, for example, like you and Ryan, you said, you know, you had a 20K day. And, you know, I sat here, I said to Janelle, I said to you, I was like, oh, yeah, I had a 20K day as well, but it was a loss. Sometimes you just got to laugh it off. And this is after I've still had the accident. You know, I just had a life-changing accident, done a trade, and I lost 20K that day. I was still smiling. Next day, I locked in a client, 30K client. 30K, flipped it now to 50K. My commission's going to come in. The 20K is nothing. Everything comes back. Stop focusing on money. Money will come back. I promise you. The more you spend, the more you make back. If you do not spend, you do not make anything. Because the more you spend, the more you think, oh, I need to make that back. It charges your mind. It charges your mind to, okay, I need to think of a way to make that back. I need to think of a way to make this. I need to think of a way to make this. Automatically, creative ideas are coming, left, right, center. This is how I'm gonna promo this. This is how I'm gonna market this to make more money, to bring in more money. It may be £500, £200, £300. It adds up. Give it a week. Trust me. Give it a week. It's gonna add up. You'll be seeing grands.
So look, it's been a pretty emotional podcast. I know your mum's pulling up soon. I've been checking the time. She's almost here. You're happy, man. So we're definitely going to be getting some good food in the house.
Oh,
you know
yeah,
100%.
I mean? The jollof is coming, man.
The jollof is coming.
The jollof is coming. And this is another reason as well why you cannot give up, and why I did not give up, right? Because prior to my mom pulling up today, the last time I seen her was 2000 and... When did I move to Dubai? 2022, right?
22,
January.
so 2021 or something.
2021. The last time I seen my mom was 2021. January. Imagine 2021 January. Today is now January 2023, the 23rd.
2023, the 23rd today.
Yes.
What a day is. What a day.
That is how long I've not seen my mom. So the fact that I've still made it alive through this, that's what motivated me to be able to get through this whole ordeal. I was like, my mom has never experienced luxury life the way you guys have seen me experience it. And the truth is because there wasn't enough to cater for my whole family the same way I want to live. You know, there's not enough money to go around, and there's not enough money to spoon feed. You know, I'm not the type of person to give one person money and give one person money, give one person money. I want you to learn. I'd rather teach you how to fish than just give you the salmon. Why would I just want to give you the salmon? Huh? You want a mackerel? You want a tadpole? Teach yourself how to fish. Let me teach you how to fish so you can catch your own mackerel, catch your own salmon. It's much better. And that's what I'm doing with my family. Just the other day, I told Ty, I emptied out my crypto wallet. I've bought so many funded accounts for my family that I'm going to retire them all. AI is going to run the funded accounts. They won't have to work another 9 to 5 in their life again. The AI is going to run everything. That's what you need to do. My mom has never flown business class. She's never had the luxury of anything. Today, that starts for her. It starts for her today. So, yeah, man, I can't wait for her to pull up. My brother's next. He's going to be coming in a couple of weeks. And then hopefully my pops. My sister's still in education, so she's got to get that finished, but she'll be coming out for holidays. But one by one, the promise that I made to my mom and dad before I left UK, I said to them, look, the main reason why I'm leaving to Dubai is so that we can have a better life. You know, let me go there first, figure things out, and I'll bring you all over there. You know, we'll live there. It may not be Dubai. We can still go back and forth to Dubai, from Thailand to Dubai. But the main thing is that I said to them, I will get you out of UK.
Yeah, the UK is a shithole, man.
It is a shithole. It is a shithole.
But look, we'll cut that there, man. We're going to have a lot of podcasts coming up soon. I've enjoyed this. I've learned a lot. As always, I enjoy these type of things. And, yeah, any final words for the very first podcast?
Final words.
Actually, I got a question. Because we asked this last time, and this is the question of the podcast. This is the question I ask every single entrepreneur, and it's kind of like my secret networking method, right? I have a little trick I always hold in my back pocket, right? That's how you get rich young. You have to hold your little tricks, right? One of the tricks I like to do to a little party trick, especially at networking and meals and interesting people that you meet, is I always ask them, I say, what's your biggest success? And what's your biggest failure?
Biggest failure, biggest success. Okay. We'll start with success. My biggest success is arriving in maybe half an hour. That's my biggest success. Everything I've done is so my mom, dad, everyone can have an easy life. So my biggest success, everyone thought it was reaching millions and whatever and making all these connects. My biggest success is on her way to the villa from her business class flight. That's my biggest success, which is what my goal was from the start. From the age of 15, that's the whole reason why I wanted financial freedom, to make it easier for my parents. So my biggest success is being able to get my mom here. My biggest failure hasn't happened yet. And I don't think it will. Now, reason being is because I feel like everything happens for a reason. Everything teaches you something. It teaches you not to do something. The crash, a lot of people would have said, oh, yeah, the crash is like my biggest failure or something like. The crash is like one of the greatest things that's happened. Other than the pain, the pain's excruciating. Don't get me wrong. I've sat here through this podcast. I should have my leg elevated, but the pain is excruciating. However, what the crash has taught me here and here, I would not have gained without the crash. I feel like everyone needs to understand that. Because when something like this happens, you realize that every other person is just living to survive. Like everyone. We're all here to survive. We're doing the best that we can to make whatever we can to have a better life for not only yourself, but also for your family. So there is no failure in life that's a failure or an L. Everything's a lesson. That's what I believe.
Well, there we go, guys. There we go. That's the very first episode of the Broke the Matrix podcast. I appreciate every single one of you. I appreciate you guys tuning in today, and I hope you learned something very, very valuable. It's been a crazy few months, as Musa would say, and it's taught a lot of people a lot of things. And the biggest thing that I've managed to use to my advantage throughout life, and to flow through success, and to flow through, avoiding so many directions that I could have went and failed in life, is by learning from other people's mistakes. So take the advice that you've heard today, whether it's negative, whether it's positive, but find one good thing that you can learn from today, and that you can take it on a lesson, and you can take it on into your own life, and you can use it. Nero would say, use it to bend reality. So peace out, guys, and keep on breaking the matrix.